Just tell us a bit about yourself.
So I'm a community activist, and I basically do community work alongside protesting at the same time, and we try and get basically the community involved. So I've got a community group called Reach for Change, and it's about creating change where you live and encouraging others to do the same.
So it's not specific to Palestine.
So basically we do stop funding genocide, start funding the homeless, start funding our schools, start funding our communities. Obviously genocide is a serious situation where it's not a war, it's not two armies against each other, it's an army against innocent civilians and innocent children. And we've set a level now for how children should be treated, and that is so wrong, and it's something that we stand against in the UK as well.
So what exactly, like practically speaking, is it that
Yeah.
your organisation does?
As I said, we call Reach for Change, and we're about basically empowering the community to change where they live. And as I said, we did do a protest on the 22nd of April. We started off with 8 tents protesting alongside the homeless, stop funding genocide, start funding our community. And then since then it grew. So we had around 100 homeless members, and they all got housed eventually. And then we're waiting to speak to the mayor regarding speaking to the government about what is going on, because we want a different place to live. We want, a better place to live.
Yeah. So I've not heard of anything that incorporates the homeless.
Yeah.
That's caught me by surprise quite a bit actually.
Yeah, well, it's true though. A lot of the British taxpayers don't want their money paying on something so harmful. They would rather it funded our public services, our hospitals, our schools, all our system, our communities. And we have none of that now, and you can tell that mental health has reached an all-time low. Knife crime is really high, and there's a lot of things going on, and it's down to underfunding. Now they're funding a genocide while they should be funding the community and telling us that they have no money, but they have money for something so harmful, and that's what's so shocking.
Okay, it's that's really interesting. So, what's a how many homeless people do you say were involved in this? Is it like a large proportion of the homeless
So at
people?
first there was like I'd say about 10 of us all involved, 10 people, and that was activists alongside the homeless people. And then after the protest, the homeless community grew. There was already a lot of homeless people sleeping in sleeping bags on the floor, and we was providing them tents. So we ended up providing around 50 to 60 tents. The council didn't like it, and they had to come to an agreement and start housing these people, which they did. So they housed probably around 100 people in the end.
What's a general because personally anyway, I'm sure it's the case with some others.
Yeah.
I've never really thought about how a homeless person may relate to someone in the
Yeah.
the current situation in Gaza or Palestine as a whole.
Yeah.
What is the general perception that homeless people have if the homeless people you've interacted with
Yeah.
of this situation?
Well, I think when people are struggling and they're all in the same situation, as in they might not be going through the same sort of pain and the same sort of situation, but they're going through a struggle, and that is what unites us. All the people across the world are fed up with their government, fed up with their leaders. They don't care about the people. They care about these rich people, and they want to make them richer, but they're already rich. You know what I mean? And then the people, they just don't care about the homeless. They don't care about the people in Palestine. It's not just about them waging war on the Palestinians. It's about them waging war on people that have got no money to. All of them, all of us together, we have the same problem, which is a government or leaders that don't listen to us. If we actually come together and say, you know what, we don't have the same, beliefs, but we might have the same issue, which is a common goal to get rid of or to change.
Yeah, it's really sad actually. It's and profound. We can be united in our different levels of pain and
Yeah,
suffering. Basically, is that fair
yeah.
to say? That's what you're saying, yeah.
Well, I'm saying united, the people will never be defeated, and history teaches us that.
What's one message you would give to those who are, let's say, you know, they say they're offended by sort of the
Yeah.
Palestinian flag and so on. What would you say to them? Just as
I
in
just think
in
it's
a general sense,
ridiculous. Like, I'm not being funny, but why would you be offended by someone's flag? Am I offended by
or
anyone
say
else's flag?
the just the protests in general.
Well, why would you be offended? If you're offended, it's because you've got a problem with people standing up against oppression. You know, this has been going on for over 75 years now, and it needs to stop. Palestine should be given their own, state, and it should be justified, and it should be a situation where they've got the land that they was told that they was given.